All right, in this lesson, we are going to review how to graph both linear and absolute value inequalities. So where it says guided practice number 1 on your paper, please write this down. So in this problem, we're going to see a straight line. This is not absolute value. You don't see any absolute value brackets. So to graph this, I'm going to start at positive 6. I call that my starting point on the y-axis. And then this is my slope. Remember, if the negative sign is at the same level, I'm going to bump it up with a 3. So this is a negative 3 over 2. From this point, I'm going to go down 3 over 2, down 3 over 2. You're going to grab your ID. And before I'm actually going to draw the line, I look back up to the inequality symbol. I see there's a line underneath, and that tells me that I will have a straight line here. And that's not normally the confusing part for students. The confusing part for students is, how do I know where to shade? Well, this is going to be our telltale sign to tell us where to shade. There's more than one way to do this. I used to tell students to pick out a point and to plug it in, but here's a quicker way. When you look at this absolute value, and from left to right, this says less than. So think of this line. Does everybody see how there's a top part and a bottom part? What part do you associate with being less than, top or bottom? Bottom. This tells you we want to shade the bottom, the less than. So we are going to shade down below. What does this graph tell us? This graph is a reflection of all of the points that make this inequality statement true. This is the solution set. So anything that's shaded in yellow is a solution. Anything on this solid line is a solution. Anything above it is not a solution. This happens to be linear. It's just a straight line. You're going to notice in example number 2, we're going to work with absolute value. Please write down for guided practice number 2 the following absolute value inequality. Okay, I'm going to start at negative 3. Remember, it lies to you and then it tells the truth. It lies to you and tells the truth. This negative 3, we do the opposite. So go to the right 3 and then go down 4. Right 3 and down 4. 0.6 is the same as 3/5. You can plug 0.6 into your calculator if you didn't know that. And by hitting math, fraction, enter, enter, you'd get the fraction 3/5. So from this point, I'm going to go up 3 and right 5. And the opposite way, up 3, right 5, up 3, right 5. Take your ID once again. Before drawing your line, you look back and you go, oh, this time I don't see the line underneath, so I need to make it dotted. And then now where do we shade? So I'm going to circle the inequality symbol from left to right. This is read as less than. So when you look at this inequality shape, is less than to you above or below? Below. So shade below the inequality function. What does this represent as a reminder? This is the solutions. These are the solutions to this inequality. That means anything that's shaded is a solution. What about anything along the dotted line? Is that a solution? What about the vertex? Is that a solution? No, because it's on the dotted line. Okay, so only what's shaded. So one of the questions the students had first hour is, how do I know when it's going to be just a linear line or if it's going to be a V shape for absolute value? The V shape comes when you see absolute value brackets. Otherwise, when you see like the form y equals mx plus b, it's going to be just a straight line. Bless you. Flip right now. I want you to skip 3 and 4 and please go on to number 5. I'm going to give you a head start, but only a 30-second head start, and then I'm going to talk my way through the problem. Okay, so it's okay if you're not done in 30 seconds. I kind of expect you not to be. Totally on your own, see what you can do with independent practice number 1. Please do not start at independent practice number 2. Okay, this lies to me, so I'm going to go to the right 1 and down 3. Remember, this negative pushes up with the 1, so it's negative 1 over 2. 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 Take your IT, and before you connect, look back up and go, okay, this needs to be solid. This needs to be solid. Now look at the inequality symbol. From left to right, this is greater than. What is greater than? Above it or below it? And it is above it. Can I have up high, please? I need everybody to give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down for this particular problem. Thumbs up or thumbs down. Don't be embarrassed to do a thumbs down. Okay, are you ready? Before we go on to independent practice number 2, I'm going to give you right now 30 seconds right now because I did see a few thumbs down. Check with your partner to make sure they understand the last 3 problems, and then we're going to time this one. Last 3 problems before we time it. Make sure your partner understands the last 3 problems we've done. For most students, it's the shading part that seems really confusing. How many would agree that's like the confusing part? Okay, I agree, that's the confusing part for students. Okay, are you ready? I'm going to give you 45 seconds. There's no penalties if you get it wrong or not done enough time. And are you ready? Get set, begin. For those lost, you should be doing independent practice number 2. Check your answer with mine, please. I'm going to want to review the most difficult part. How do I know where to shade? I circled the inequality symbol. And if I read this from left to right, the mouth from left to right means greater than. So I want to go what's greater than. If you can graph this absolute value function, greater than would be above it. Greater than is above, so I shade anything above it. Just as a last reminder, this is all part of the solution set along with our line. Anything on our line is a solution to this inequality. Anything below it is not. Are we good? Let's go back to the first page. Please find guided practice number 3. Now the downfall of this is that it's a little hard to see. So I'd like you just to follow along with me for the first 2 problems. And as a reminder, something I forgot to tell you, when you are graphing, can you please add arrows to the end of both of your graphs? It means it continues to go on in both directions, okay? Please add those arrows. So our goal for guided practice 3 and 4, and then on the back as well as the last 2 independent, is to write an equation that models this. In this case, it's going to be an inequality. So I'm just going to put a big circle around the origin just so I kind of know where it is. And then I'm going to put a dot where I see the vertex, and I'm actually going to put the ordered pair. So this is 5, 2. And I'm going to start with the vertex. Remember, on the inside it lies to you. So x subtract 5, and on the outside it tells the truth. Lies and tells the truth. And when you go ahead and you find what the slope is, you have to find good intersection points. So I'm going to put a dot here, and there's a dot here. Remember, slope is up first, and then left or right, or down first. So it's rise over run. So I'm going to go up, and I check here. Okay, that's 1. So I'm going to go up 1, and then I'm going to go to the right 2. Up 1 and right 2 to get to that next good intersection point. 1/2. The last part is, what do I put? Well, I can see that for an inequality symbol. I can see it's dotted, which tells me I will not put a little line underneath. So it's either going to be less than or greater than. And I can also see that the shading occurs below the absolute value. Below it. So below means less than. One through 5, your level of understanding for that. That's tough stuff. 1 through 5? Okay. Let's go on right now to guided practice number 4. Okay, let's just identify where the origin is, and also where we can find, and also where can we find the vertex. The vertex can be found at 0, 4. So I could write x plus 0 on the inside, or you can just write x. It's totally up to you. And behind it is a plus 4. And now I need to find good intersection points. I can see one right here. So remember, it's rise over run. So I'm going to go down 1, 2, 3. I'm going to go down 3, and then to the right, 1, 2, 3, 4. Down 3, right 4. In this case, this is a solid line, so it has a line at the bottom and underneath the inequality. And I can see the shading occurs below the absolute value, so below is less than. So this is less than or equal to because it is also a solid line. Before you flip the paper, check to see if you can help your partner or vice versa. Go ahead. All right, example number 3. Example number 3, we're going to do 2 practice problems separately, and they're going to be kind of in our format of taking timed tests like our checkpoint quizzes. You right now have 1:15 to only do independent practice number 3. Begin. Bless you. Bless you. So I'm going to go, this lies on the inside, it tells the truth on the outside, and I'm going to use the exact points they provided me. So I need to go rise up of 2 to go from -2 to 0, rise up 2, and then now I need to go from -3 all the way to the right to 7. So that is a distance of 10 units. 2 over 10, rise up 2, and to the right 10 reduces to 1/5. It is a dotted line. There's no line underneath, and it's shaded above our absolute value, so it is greater than. Be careful in example 4. When I did this for period 1, I made a mistake. I caught it right away, but be careful. This time you have 45 seconds. Are you ready? Begin. Anybody want to take a guess for a lifesaver where you think I made a mistake? The slope. Who just guessed that? Nice job, Isela. I'm not going to throw you. Ready? Oh, sorry. There we go. Isela. Okay. Here's my mistake. So I started here. Okay, that's pretty easy. I'm going to come down here and write it. Y, oh, not equals. Start again. Y, and then it lies to you on the inside, so I'm going to go subtract 2. It tells you the truth on the outside. But here's the mistake I made. I saw this good intersection point, and instead of going from the vertex to the right, I went accidentally to the left. Always go to the right of the vertex. So from this vertex to this point, I'm going to go down 2, 4, 6. Down 6, and right 2, which reduces to -3. But instead, I had a +3. Did anybody else put +3 accidentally? A couple people? Okay. And then we can see that we shaded below the line, so it's going to be less than and also equal to because it is a solid line.